Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we turn to talking about another reporter who's denying reality. This time it's CNN's Brian Stelter, who was trying to pretend the fires that happened in Washington, D.C. this weekend didn't happen at all. That's right, he was arguing with someone on Twitter and got into quite the beef about it, and it eventually caused him to get a lot of embarrassment. In fact, he had to delete his tweet and tried to pretend it didn't happen, but eventually he did apologize and correct things, which is rather surprising coming from anyone at CNN or anyone at the left for that matter. They usually just double down and storm on and never admit any of their mistakes, which happen a lot because they make a lot of bold claims. They try to cover up for a lot of bad people, and that's basically what's going on today. Brian Stelter, of course, works for CNN, one of the worst news outlets in the world, the biggest fake news mill on the planet, and they're also the most left-leaning, terrible, and they've become virtual activists for Antifa and these rioters and looters and criminals. They're defending them, playing defense, trying to stoke up ideas of racism in order to justify what they did out there, and it's going really, really poorly for them. People are turning on to the left and onto CNN more now than ever, and that's what we're going over today. So without further ado, let's check out the Brian Stelter quote. It started off in this Daily Caller tweet. It says, Brian Stelter accuses former reporter from Daily Caller, Katrina, of lying about what she's seen on her TV and then just deletes it instead of apologizing. So here's the original tweet, and it's got some images and stuff. Let's get an idea of what's going on here. It says, from Stelter's, like, what's your source? Live video of St. John's does not show obvious fire. Katrina says, Shannon Breed and live video feed on Fox. You can see the church on your TV, right? No sign of smoke or fire at the church. Small fires across the street. Your tweet is going viral and it's not accurate. St. John's Church in Lafayette Square is burning right now. Every single president since James Madison has sat in that church. It's a historical landmark and it's on fire. And then this is the tweet that started trending. I believe it's liked and shared a lot. And this is where Brian initially challenged it, but now he deleted it. And it just says, everything you need to know about CNN reporters. They're very, very biased. They want to pretend that fire wasn't happening. We have proof of that. It was all over the news. I'm not sure if we have it in here. This says the church is on fire. It's the church that's across from the White House. It's very troubling. Brian Stelter has a lot of clout on their CNN network. He has a nightly show. He gets propped up by them, pushed around. And he also goes on Twitter and just kind of says whatever he wants, like whatever he pleases. He has no shame. And it just goes to show how bad this whole fire thing was and how they wanted to cover it up. The fire across the street from the White House. This is the White House. This is where the president lives and works. That's the main headquarters for the presidency. D.C. is the capital of our country, of course. And the protesters went to go there. And, of course, they're not quite protesters anymore. They've gone past that. They've turned into rioters. And some are even saying they've turned into this sort of social, political insurrection. I mean, rioting is one thing. I always thought rioting was more spontaneous and not this calculated and directed. Riots kind of pop up, something bad happens, and then the people riot as a response at the moment. But to have these riots day after day, having them start to get planned and sending them after the White House and the place the president has to go in the bunker, then the White House is endangered, and they just end up spinning over and going to the church across the street. But the point is, they're way more organized than your typical riot. This isn't your everyday, your mom and pop's remembrance of a riot from back in the day. These are people coordinating, getting some kind of plan, getting orders from above, and it's getting defended by the likes of CNN. I mean, Brian Stelter really blew it here.
The parish office, we went downstairs and it is on fire. I'm going to walk this way, and this is awful. We saw graffiti. Once the door was broken, we saw something similar happen earlier. And as you can see, there's definitely a fire here. This is the parish office. Here, come on back. Come on back. Come on back up. That's good. So they're trying to fire the...
But that's just not the case. I mean, these aren't real protesters. There's no thing to protest anymore. The justice is being served in the original incident. The people that are just rioting now and destroying stuff, they're just pulling a Joker. They just want to watch the world burn. They don't like things that are going on. They're mad about 2016 still. They're trying to attack where the president is. I mean, this is obviously going after his area. They're going close to the White House. It makes sense that they're going that way, because we know that all these supporters and these rioters and looters, they're all liberal Democrat, far left wing. A lot of them are Antifa, which is now a terrorist organization. And Brian Stelter just tries to support that. I mean, he's just sitting pretty in his little CNN headquarters. He doesn't have anything to do with the real world, really. He just tries to report on stuff. But yeah, here he says, keep torturing me whenever you think I deserve it. I don't think he's really that humble. Like, he's trying to act like, oh, I apologized, so I'm like the good guy now. But dude, you've been lying and faking shit for years. You need to just step down. You need to get out of the public. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a voice, but dude, this guy is terrible. I don't get why he even has a show or anything. Like, no one watches his show. Brian Stelter is a joke. I mean, this guy, it has nothing. Like that one guy tweeted, he provides nothing. Like, he does nothing for anyone. He's not interesting or entertaining. He's not bringing in real news reports. He's just reading headlines and giving CNN's little liberal propaganda pushes. He says he made this one apology like it makes things okay. Like, yeah, we'll let this go. Like, I could let this go. I'm not going to dwell on it forever, but it's just a good example in another time where these reporters are denying reality. We talked about it in another video where a PBS reporter was pretending that people weren't acting like anarchists or doing crazy things in the streets just to bash Trump. And in this case, they're trying to pretend there wasn't fires going on across the street from the White House just because they don't see it on TV in the right way, or they don't want to pretend these things are as bad as they are. These people have been misreading this story from the beginning. They've been trying to pretend these protesters are really kind of demonstrating or having a just cause, but no, CNN is just playing defense. They're trying to support Antifa. We've seen CNN supporting Antifa and having like lots of ties to them, and now that they're declared terrorists, I mean, they should really be backing away, but they're kind of doubling down and saying, hey, we're still with them. We're the radical left too. We want to support this. And that's why we need to keep batting these stories down, because even though Brian Stelter deleted his tweet and eventually was forced to apologize and shame, it's still something that he's done many times without apologizing, and it's something that's going to happen many, many times again unless we keep highlighting it and talking about it and breaking it down here for you. That about wraps things up. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Tell me what you think about Brian, about the fires, about people lying about it, and trying to make this news story into something different. Hope you guys have lots of interesting things to say. I'll be reading the comments below. Also, hit that like button to help support this channel. Hit the like and give us some sharing time. And thanks again for watching. Have a great day.